Hello, my name is Adam and I work here in the Instructional Technology Center at the CSU-Pueblo campus, and today we're going to talk about getting an Art 310 portfolio put together. So in the years past, we've taken all of our art resources and we put them together in a PDF and we've sent them off to the instructor, and it's all well and good. But this year we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be able to utilize the blogging platform WordPress to be able to upload all of our media of the different pieces of art we've made over the stay here at CSU-Pueblo, and then you'll have an online resource that you can take with you once you leave the university and be able to use when you're working with potential clients, or you need a resume piece that you need to throw on there. So use this video today as the way that you can get this WordPress account set up. So if you're not familiar with what WordPress is, it's really a blogging platform, and what a blog is, it's an area where you can go online, type in some information, put a picture, put a video, and post that information to a feed that's your own. You'll have a URL that is your own, so that's the address that you'll be able to access this particular information. For this particular instance, we're going to create the blog so that you can then turn in that URL and get your credit, get some reviews for this, all the work that you've done over the stay here at CSU-Pueblo. But then, like I said, you can take this with you outside of here. It's not going to expire. Now, WordPress has a free tier. That's the tier we're going to use today. There's some other stuff that you can look at if you ever wanted to pay for WordPress, and there's some other bells and whistles that you can add on. So to start, what we need to do is get online, and you need to go to WordPress.com. So once you get to WordPress.com, if you have not had an account here, you'll be asked to create a website. If you've logged in before, you can just hit your login and log into the account. For most everyone else, what you're going to want to do is come up with a URL that you would want that is pretty professional. So in this particular instance, I might even put my name, something like this, and that would be my URL, my name.wordpress.com. Once I hit create website, it's going to go in there and it's going to look at a few things. So first off, email address, username, password, you're going to be creating all this, and then if that blog address is available. Now it's telling me that this one already exists. That's because I haven't logged into my account. I'm going to do that in just a moment here and show you what it looks like on the other end. But what you need to do is you need to jump in here, WordPress.com, create your URL for the site that you want under a WordPress free account. Now, I'm not going to go through that with you on here. I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out. You've signed up for things in the past. I did want to point out, though, we are going to be on this free tier. So there will be ads that show up on your site, and that's because they're giving you free 3 gigs of space to hold on to all of your information that you're going to be putting into this account, which is pretty generous, and it has a lot of great features just on that free tier. In the future, if you want to go premium or go business, you can look in those options and you can upgrade your account. So at this time, I'm going to give you a few moments to go ahead and get your WordPress.com account set up, and then I'm going to show you what it's going to look like on the back end and what we need to work with. Alright, so once you log into your WordPress account, you're going to get to something like this. If you're not seeing this kind of a page, there should be a WordPress logo over on the left-hand side in the upper left. Click on that, you get to this page. What you want to find is your My Sites. So when you click on your My Sites, you're going to get to something that looks like this. Now I have a few other sites that are under my WordPress account, but the one I'm going to be focusing on is this Art 310 portfolio example. So I'm going to click on this particular site, and this is the same one that we had the URL for. So you saw before, there's the adammposius.wordpress.com, and we are now in an iteration of my blog here. So one of the things that we thought early on is let's keep a consistent theme, so when we have our reviewers go through our site, they'll know what to expect, how to navigate between the various images of this site, and be able to give you a good review. Now after this class, feel free to change your theme, feel free to make this your own. We're just suggesting this for this particular iteration. Within this theme, there is some customization that you can utilize, so I will show you where to do that, but use this section of the video to get your site set up. So it's probably not going to even look like this right away. So the very first thing that I'd like you to go do is, if you're on the front end of your site, you want to highlight your title over in the upper left-hand corner over here, and you want to go to your dashboard. So once we get to the dashboard, I'm going to give you a quick tour of what you're going to see. So there's a lot of links in here. It's going to feel a little overwhelming at first if you haven't been in WordPress, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. First off, your dashboard. It's just feeding in information about your site. Once you get a little bit more seasoned at using WordPress, this might become a little bit more important to you, but we're going to skip over it. So right here, all the details of your site. You might want to set up some things like checking out what other blogs that you have available. You can jump to them right away. You can take a look at some of your site stats if you have a lot of people coming to your site to be able to see how many hits you have. But like I said, that's for another day. Where you really want to put your focus is on your posts. So if you click onto posts, this is where you're going to put an individual image per post. And you're going to put a little description of it. So your whole portfolio is going to be built in this post area. Now we will get back to this in a moment. I want to go through a few of these other items. So as you go down the list, the next one is media. So media is going to be important because you can pull in all your information right into your media library by hitting this add new, and you'll have that 3 gig limit, but you can add all the information first, upload all your documents, and then go add them to the posts. Or as you build the post, you can upload your documents. Whichever way is going to work with you, but the media is where you can see all the images that you associate with your particular portfolio. So there's some links. Those are just links to other pages outside on the web. You have pages that you can associate with your account. We're not going to really suggest using pages today, but if you wanted to put an about, if you wanted to put a little bit more information on a portfolio, feel free to add pages to your account. Now this might be a good time to add your document, your letter of intent, your resume information in one of these pages, or at least do a link to your document that you have in your media area. So if you want to play with pages, all you need to do is add new, and you'll kind of see the same interface that you would if you were doing a post. Going down the list here, you're not going to have to worry about your portfolio. Comments, if you have comments on some of your things, you'll be able to moderate those comments through there. Don't really need to worry about feedback. You could add polls in there. A lot of this is the stuff that you'd use in a typical WordPress setting. Alright, so where it really comes into play is we need to take a look at your appearance first. This is one of the first things I need you all to do. So if you go to your appearance and you click on themes, it's going to bring up all the various themes that you can then associate with your account. Now, we've already done the legwork, we looked at all the themes, and one of the better ones for this particular instance that we found is this Pictorico. So what you can do is if you see it right here, write that name down, go into the themes, search it, and once you find the theme you want to activate it. So the one we're going to go with today is Pictorico. So go ahead and do that now. So by this point, you may have paused the video, came back here, you have the Pictorial theme active on your account. There's some settings that we need to go through. One of the very first things that I'm going to want you to do is you can click on your Customize button under that Themes area, and then you can go into some customization of your Pictorial theme. So I already have some things that are feeding in right now, but under this, this list on the right hand side you have some options. So if you click on Custom Design, you can take a look at some of the options here. Now in this particular one, let's see what we can do here. So you can adjust colors, you can adjust fonts, you can adjust a few different things that you like. And in this list you have a lot of other options. You can add a header so it gives a kind of an image at the top. You can adjust what your menus are going to look like. At this point we're really just doing the posts as your menus, so there's not much you need to do. Unless you add a few pages, then it will put those pages up at the top. What your front page is going to look like. You do want it to be on latest posts so that it feeds in the latest posts that you're putting in there. Those posts will be the individual items that you're adding to your portfolio. We don't really have to worry about widgets. Site title might be something you want to put in there, so you can put your name. That's going to be the title that shows up in the upper left hand corner. It's not going to allow you to manipulate the CSS. It looks like this is a purchase feature to actually put it live on your site. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of this. I can click this little X in the right hand level there, and that's going to take us back to our site. Okay, so we're all done with some of the changes here. I'm going to close out so we can get back to our site. So we got the appearance set up. We looked at some of the customization options. You can play around in this area, see what you can customize in your account. That's a great way to look at it. Now the only other area that I want you to take a look at is under your settings. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each setting page to make sure you have the same settings configured on yours. So under settings we're going to start with general. So once you go to your general settings, we'll let this load, you can change your site title if you like at the top. Make sure you have a date format that's pretty readable. Now, some of these can be adjusted if you like, but I like you to stay consistent as possible. You're going to get the most consistent delivery on your site when you do this. So I'll give you just a second to look at all these settings. If you need to pause it, configure your site for the general. Okay, next we're going to go to writing. On your writing page, you want to set this up like this. We're going to do all the posts that are uncategorized to start with. Default post format is very standard, and then the link category would blog roll. So we'll keep that up there just for a moment. Now, just as a side note, at the bottom, it's going to show. Actually, I'm not going to worry about that. Keep that as consistent as possible. Next, we're going to go to the reading tab. So you do want your reading tab to show your latest posts. Here's where I wanted to show you that you can show as many posts as you want at the same time. So right now it's only going to show 10 at a time. Let's say you wanted to show 20 because we had 20 images. You could put 20 posts in there. You'll show some of the full text information about that post. Allow search engines to index the site if you like. If for some reason you don't want your site to show up in some of the search results, you could go discourage it from those search results. And then you could also make it private, but at that point then no one can see it. So if you sent that URL out, it really wouldn't work in for what we're doing. So the farthest you'd go is discouraging search results. Most everything in here is going to be default already, but you can hide related content after posts. Scroll infinity, that's good. So that means that you just keep loading posts as you scroll down. And if you have a follower, somebody wants to follow this particular blog, these are the messages that are going to pop out. So a lot of that's default. Next one, we're going to go to discussion. Here we are in discussion. I think everything was cool on this one. Everything's pretty much default. So I'm not going to spend too much time on here, but everything's going to be pretty much the same on that one. Media. This is going to be a nice one because you're going to have the opportunity to upload different sizes of your images. But when you upload that size, if you have a really humongous sized image, it's not going to bode very well when somebody goes to try to take a look at it in your blog because they might not have the bandwidth to download the full-size image. So you should probably do as much of your pre-work as you can in Photoshop. We have some other videos around this one that shows you how to do that. But in this particular instance, it will also generate a few different types of image sizes. So a thumbnail size, 150 by 150 sounds great. We decided to change the medium size to about 600 by 600. Now that's not actually going to keep the proportions of 600 by 600. Whichever is the maximum it's going to go with, and it's going to automatically adjust the other value based off of that 600. Same thing for large images. So if you look around here, just make sure you're consistent with all these different settings. Now, everything else in here we're not going to go through. We just needed to get all the way up to the media at this point. So once you get all those changes set and you're ready to roll, your blog is going to be ready to roll. So what you need to do next is start adding your images. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to go over to my posts and I'm going to show you how you add a post. So you have your image and you're ready to add it in. So the first thing you want to do is click this Add New. And you're in the post area, and then you want to give it a title. So I'm just giving generic titles, but you might want to give the title of your piece at this point. Just any information about the image you're about to put in here. So I'm going to be really generic, and I'm going to put Art Piece 4. Can't remember what I put it before, so there it is. So the next part is getting your image into the body of your text. So what's going to happen is you click your cursor in here, and you can click Add Media. Once you do that, it's going to bring you into your media screen, and then you're going to have the opportunity to upload that media. So if you've already done the legwork and you uploaded before, you went straight to the media tab and brought it all in, then you're just selecting the particular piece of media you want to pull in. So you can click on one of those images, and then you have some options on the right here. In this instance, I want to bring a new image in, so I'm going to click on Upload Files. And then you can drag and drop a file in here, or you can hit Select Files. I'll go ahead and hit Select. I got a few files here in my desktop. I'll just go ahead and grab one of those, click on that, and I'll hit Open. So now it's going to upload that file into my media repository. I'll click on that particular file, and then over on the right here I have some options. So if there's just kind of metadata about that particular image. So if I go down here, I can go ahead and select it as that large image, that medium image we were talking about, or that thumbnail. And again, it will give you the ability to upload the full-size image if you'd like. Go ahead and just stick with the large images, the 1040 by the 576 or whatever it decides to size it to based off of your image size. But the threshold is going to be 1024 as the biggest size in there. So the second you hit insert into post, it's going to take that image and it's going to drop it into your post. So I'm going to actually delete that because I actually put two of them in there. So there it is. I got my image in my post. Now if you click on that image and then you hit the right arrow key on the keyboard and hit enter once or twice, you're going to notice that the cursor is going to jump right below that image. So then you can put the image information. So you're going to want to check with your instructor as to what information needs to be under this image. For this one, I'm just going to be pretty generic and put a little message here. All right. Put my message right under there. And then the last thing that you need to do to make sure that this image gets seen on the front end of your site is you have to also set your featured image. So you go down to this right hand side, click set featured image, and then again it's going to bring up your media library. Click on that image, the one that you have in your post, and you'll hit set featured image. So now you're done. You got your image in there, you got your description, and then you have to scroll up and you do have to hit publish. Once you hit publish, that image is going to be put into your blog, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at what that blog looks like now that it's been put in there. Alright, so I've already been working with this particular blog for a few times, so every time I post something it takes me to the live site and I can see what it looks like. So I'm going to close this little side window here so I can see a full version of my blog. Now the very first thing it does is it loads whatever image you did at the very top as kind of a banner. But then if you scroll a little bit further down, you're going to see your post. So there's your post, there's your description, and then you're going to notice since that was the last one that you posted in your blog, it's going to have a link at the bottom that allows you to go to your previous image. So if you click to your previous image, same kind of deal, you're going to start being able to look at each image in your portfolio and any description you might have put in there. So what it looks like when you first get to your blog, if I go ahead and click on this link in the upper left hand corner there, your blog is going to be a bunch of little pictures of all the different artwork that you've put into your blog. So as the instructors go through, if they highlight one of these areas, they'll be able to see the title of that and then when it was posted. So then you can go ahead and click on that particular image. It's going to take you to that section of the blog, and then the instructor will be able to scroll down, see that particular image, any information you've put about it, and they could leave replies at this point. So that's turned on, and that is going to really conclude creating a WordPress blog. Not a lot that you have to do, a little bit of setup. I know this video took a little bit of time, but I think it should get you on the road to getting your blog set up. Now, if you have any additional questions, our information is in this Blackboard class that you're watching this video, so go ahead and give us a call in the Instructional Technology Center. Adam or Patricia will be here to help you out. If you can get it, fantastic. Once you get that all set up and ready to roll, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you send in what your blog's URL is going to be. So once you're on this front end page, notice up in this top area, it's going to be whatever the title is. It should possibly be your name, .wordpress.com. Copy that in, submit it through that form that we have in Blackboard so we know where your blog is. Even if you just set up the blog, send us that URL, we're going to know how to get to it. You don't have to have all your images in before you send us that blog. So try to get those in as soon as possible. Again, contact us if there's any other questions you have. Thank you very much for watching this video. Peace.